Do you remember the click? Not a zipper, a clasp. The snap of metal on metal that meant the bag was closed and the evening was beginning. The Lucite box bag, the beaded evening bag that folded flat in a drawer. These are not handbags like the ones you carry now. They are something else entirely, and they have been sitting in coat closets donated to thrift stores priced at $3 for 70 years. The name pressed into the clasp is what nobody thought to read. 9 bags, what they were, what they are worth now. Number 9, Whiting and Davis. Picture the bag. Silver chainmail, small and flat, with a hinged frame across the top and a clasp in the center. You have seen it. It hung in a closet or sat in a drawer with the good gloves and the church envelopes. Everyone's grandmother had one. It looked like armor. It looked like something you could not possibly wear anywhere modern. It was heavier than it looked. That was the first surprise. Here is what it actually was. Whiting and Davis was founded in 1876, not the 1950s, 1876, in Massachusetts. The company started as Wade Davis and Company, became Whiting and Davis in 1896 when Charles Whiting and Edward Davis bought it outright. In 1892, Charles Whiting had made the first mesh bag entirely by hand. Every ring formed individually, every ring joined by hand. By 1912, the company built a machine to automate the process, and they became the largest mesh handbag manufacturer in the world. They made bags for Tiffany clients. They made bags that went on ocean liners. They made bags sold in department store windows with white gloves under spotlights. The name is stamped into the hardware. Some bags carry it on a small metal hang tag attached to the clasp. Others have it pressed directly into the frame. The letters are small, easy to miss if you are not looking for them. A basic signed Whiting and Davis mesh bag in good condition, $100 to $200. With the original presentation box, $300 to $400. The rarer styles, enameled aluminum mesh, hand-painted designs, gilded frames with original silk lining, have sold for $800 or more. The oldest name in American handbag history, on the clasp, there since 1896. Number 8 won a television award in 1951. The name on its lining wore off. That is where it gets complicated. Number 8, Terolian. A New York handbag company won the Handbag of the Year award on a television program called Your Television Shopper, broadcast on the Dumont Network. The year was 1951. The category was cocktail bags. The company was called Tyrolean. Louis Kaufman had come from Russia as a child. Before bags, he was in the lace business, which explains the distinctive lacy filigree pressed in gold-plated metal along the frame, around the clasp, down the sides of every Terolian bag. He ran the company with his family. His daughter Mildred designed the bags. His son-in-law Herman ran sales. The factory was in the Bronx. The showroom was at 555 8th Avenue in Manhattan. The hardware was 24-karat gold-plated over copper. The lining was a coral-colored silk moire, not pink, not red, but the specific coral of a 1950s lipstick case. And the Tyrolean name was gold stamped directly onto that lining. Here is the problem. The gold stamp wore off. Carried, stored, and left for decades in a closet, the stamp faded. Many Tyrolean bags now sit in boxes with no visible name anywhere on them. The sticker labels on the Lucite versions also fell off. The bag exists without identification, and most people pass it without a second look. But the lacy filigree is specific to Tyrolean, and it comes from the lace business, and it shows. The coral lining, where it survives, is unmistakable. A Tyrolean with the label intact, $150 to $600. In 1954, a newspaper ran an advertisement offering $2.95 copies of a $35 Tyrolean. Nobody is making copies now. Louis Kaufman closed the company in the 1960s when American trade agreements let cheaper imported bags flood the market. He was never quite the same after. He passed away in 1967. His daughter Mildred's designs are still in circulation, in estate sales and attic boxes, still carrying the coral lining she chose. The bags are still here. Before we continue, if you are watching this, You already know that what women in the 1950s used, kept, and considered ordinary is anything but ordinary now. I put together a guide to the rest of it. 150 pages of daily beauty rituals, classic recipes, etiquette, and style that millions of women once considered ordinary before they quietly disappeared. It is at nostalgiawomen.com. This is the only mention. Now, back to the bags. Number 7, Koret. Pick up a Koret handbag and your hand finds the clasp before it finds anything else. The mechanism stops you. It is hinged and engineered, interlocking sections of brass or gold-plated metal, geometric, Art Deco, precise in a way that requires a specific pressure and a specific motion to open. Not a simple push, an action. Some of these closures resemble small pieces of architecture. The rest of the bag, calf suede, aged and soft, feels secondary to what is doing the closing. The Koret name was registered as a trademark in 1942. Koret elope, their specific grade of calf suede, treated to a standard they owned. The material was theirs, but the clasp was the invention. The name is inside the mechanism, pressed into the inner surface of the metal on the face that touches its counterpart when the bag is closed. When the bag is shut, you cannot read it. You have to open it to see it. People sell these bags for the leather. The leather is beautiful, broken in, the color of old documents. Nobody thinks to examine the clasp. The name is in the clasp. A Koret with the original hardware intact, $150 to $350. The mechanism alone would justify the curiosity. The name inside it justifies the price. Number 6 is a name you have not heard. The price range goes to $1,800. Number 6, Rialto New York. You will not recognize this name. That is the point. Rialto New York made Lucite box bags in the mid-century. The same rigid form, the hinged lid, the clasp across the top, the short handle, translucent amber, pearl white, carved floral patterns etched into the plastic itself, some with geometric designs that catch light and hold it from across a room. The name Rialto New York is stamped onto the metal frame. 4 words that most people at an estate sale do not pause long enough to read. An unsigned Lucite box bag from the same era, same style, same form, no name, sells for $25 at a thrift store. The average sale price for a confirmed Rialto New York, $385. The highest confirmed sales have reached $1,800 for carved examples in exceptional condition, $25 to $385. The only difference is 4 words on the frame. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, 5 more bags on this list, and the prices are about to change. Subscribe before you lose the tab. Number 5, Enid Collins. She was not in New York. She was in Medina, Texas, a small town in the hill country, the kind of place where nobody expected a national handbag brand to come from. And from there, she painted wooden box bags by hand, jeweled them, covered them in rhinestones and enamel, roosters, owls, birds in flight, clusters of summer fruit, abstract patterns the color of stained glass windows in a church she could probably see from her studio. Between 1961 and 1972, she copyrighted 766 individual designs, not 766 bags. 766 designs, each one registered separately, each one given its own number. The copyright number is printed on the bottom of the box. You pick up the bag and you see a painted wooden box. You think craft fair. You think someone made this at home. You do not think here is a signed, numbered piece of American commercial design with a copyright registration that can be verified. Common designs with the copyright stamp intact, $150 to $300. The sought-after patterns, rock garden, birdcage, $400 to $600 or more at auction. 766 designs. She put her name on every one. Here is what happens to these bags. A Terolian with the stamp worn off, coral lining faded, no visible name, goes into a donation box. Thrift store prices it at $4. It looks like an old plastic bag with some metal trim. A Joseph beaded evening bag with a cracked clasp, $8. A Llewellyn confetti lucite with no visible label, because the label is stamped on the inside of the frame and nobody opened it, $3. The people pricing these bags are not wrong about what they see. They see old bags. They see wear, they see age, they see no name, and they price accordingly. They are not looking inside the clasp. They are not turning the bag over and reading the bottom. They are not opening the hinged frame and reading the letters pressed into the metal where the lid meets the base. That is not their job. Their job is to price a bag. The people who find the best ones know where to look. The place to look is always inside. Number 4 was made in Europe. The label says exactly where. Number 4, Joseph. Run your thumb across the surface of a Joseph evening bag and you know immediately that this was not manufactured. The resistance is wrong, too fine, too irregular. Hundreds of seed beads, each slightly raised, each placed by hand, forming a pattern that only becomes legible when the whole surface is complete. The construction is closer to embroidery than to anything a machine could do. Bags by Joseph is how the label reads. The beading was done in France and in Belgium, hand-placed. Months of labor in a single bag. These were sold at Saks Fifth Avenue. They were sold at Harrods in London. The label inside says where the bag was made in France or made in Belgium, because origin mattered, because the women who bought them at Saks knew the difference. An unsigned beaded evening bag from the same era, no label, no name, equally beautiful on the outside, sells for $20 to $40 at an estate sale. Old, fragile, difficult. A Joseph with the original label intact, $350 to $500. One small sewn tag inside the bag, 3 words on it. That is the difference. Number 3, Llewellyn. The Lucite is not clear. That is the first thing. Llewellyn made Lucite box bags in colors and patterns that should not have been possible in rigid plastic, swirled pink and gold, as if someone poured the two together and froze the moment before they mixed. Marbled cream with gray veining, and the confetti, metallic flakes suspended inside translucent plastic at every depth, so the light catches something different no matter how you turn it. Llewellyn Incorporated, New York. The mark is stamped inside the frame. Not on the outside, but inside, along the edge where the lid meets the base, where the two halves of the clamshell come together. The letters are pressed into the metal. You open the bag and you look at the inside edge. People do not do this at estate sales. They look at the outside. They see old plastic, a handle that needs repair, no obvious name. Assigned Llewellyn, $355 to $800. The confetti versions consistently reach the higher end. The marbled pink and gold is now one of the most recognized designs in mid-century Lucite collecting. The name is under the lid. 7 letters. That is number 2. Number 2, Wilardy. William Hardy shortened his name. Will from William, Ardy from Hardy, Wilardy. He pressed those 7 letters into the frame of every bag he made, in the same location every time. Inside the frame, where the lid meets the base, the same place you have now learned to look. He worked in New York. His bags are considered the highest point of the American Lucite market. The pearlized versions, cream, pink, and amber, have a depth that flat plastic cannot replicate. The carved versions have florals etched directly into the Lucite, cut into the surface so the design becomes part of the material. Antiques Roadshow appraised a Willardy pearlized Lucite handbag, and the appraiser said $300 to $400. The owner had paid nothing for it. She had found it without knowing the name. The name was on the inside of the frame, where it had always been. She did not know to look. She looked anyway. That is the whole mechanism. An unsigned Lucite box bag from the same period, same form, same era, no name, sells for $30 at a thrift store. 7 letters. The difference between $30 and $1,500. Here's what happened to the market. 10 years ago, people who knew about Wilardy traded among themselves through small collector forums, estate sale circuits, and a few specialty dealers. A signed Wilardy sold for $75 to $100. Not because the bag had changed, because the information had not spread yet. Then the documentation started. Online platforms, collector databases, resellers photographing the inside of frames and posting the name, videos showing exactly where to look on exactly which bags. The information moved, and when information moves into a niche market that has been closed for decades, prices do not adjust slowly. They jump. The same Willardy that sold for $80 is now listed at $850 and sells quickly. The same Terolian that went for $10 at a church sale 5 years ago now lists at $300. The Llewellyn confetti that nobody knew to open, $400 to whoever opened it first. The bags did not change. The number of people who know where to look changed. The ones still in coat closets, still in attic boxes, still at the back of estate sale tables, carry the same names on the same frames. The names have not worn off. Nobody has looked yet. One bag left. Number 1, the bag that was never emptied. This is not about a brand. Open the clasp, the specific pressure, the specific motion, and look inside. If the original compact is still there, the small powder compact that came with this bag when it was new, when someone bought it in 1954 for an evening, she planned for weeks. You are holding something different, not just a bag, a sealed moment. The faint smell of face powder is still in it. The mirror is still inside. The coin purse is still there, with the silk pull tab she used to open it. A Tyrolean black satin bag was documented with its original coin purse and mirror intact. Everything matching, everything there. 70 years inside the clasp. A Wilardy with its original compact is not a $400 bag with a $50 compact inside. It is a different category of object. Collectors pay a premium for completeness that goes beyond the sum of parts, because completeness means it was never passed through, never donated, never emptied. Someone put everything back in, and the bag went into a closet, and it stayed. This is the one I keep coming back to. Not because of the money, though the money is real, but because of what it means that the compact is still there. A bag is made to hold things. The click means the evening is beginning. When the mirror is still inside, when nothing is missing, when everything is exactly as it was, the click means something else entirely. It means the evening never ended. The click of the clasp, that is where the name is. Not in the style, not in the silhouette. The name is pressed into the hardware, gold stamped onto the silk, sewn onto a small tag inside the frame, printed on the bottom of the box. These bags were made to be used, closed and opened and carried out into the evening, and then set down on a chair at the end of the night. Someone closed one for the last time and did not know it was the last time.